Hello and welcome to Everyday Channel number 132, your favorite, most deceptively named bi-weekly legacy podcast. Today's show is brought to you by our brand new Benedict Gruber.
Oh, the only one.
Yeah, Benedict, our brand new Patreon, also the organizer, one of the organizers of the ETC Legacy Tournament in Phyrexian. So, Benedict, thank you for your support. And if you want to support the running of the show directly, you can support us on patreon.com/everydaychannel. You know, Kai, you know what I don't need to feel bad about anymore?
Huh?
I kind of ripped off the intro to Leaving a Legacy. If you want to support the running of the show directly, yada, yada, yada. That's what Pat says every single time. And it's just like so perfect. Like the flow is perfect. And now I can actually steal it from them because actually, sad trombone noise, they are shutting down. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. I just mean like if something's good, just reuse it.
That's the Japanese way, right? And is it the Chinese way? I think people say like copying stuff is like a form of appreciation.
Oh, like I think so. What Japanese mostly do is like they kind of copy something, but they make it better. You know, so it's not
that's
really
what
like
they say.
Like
it's like no, I made it better. Yeah, no, I didn't rip it off.
I made it better for you guys. You know, so yeah, you have a better life.
Did you know that the Soviet Union actually ripped off the space shuttle? They actually they copied the space shuttle. They stole the plans, and they allegedly even improved parts of it.
Oh, I thought. Oh, did they take the whole thing? I thought they took like a part of it.
I would need to look into it again, but from what I've seen, they basically they kind of like stole the plans. It's just like as you do, and then they allegedly improved some of the systems.
And they made it better, yeah.
Well, some parts. I don't know if the final product was actually better, but yeah. Leaving a Legacy just shutting down, I think it's worth a mention because that, other than us, has been basically... Sorry, I had to say that. Has been one of the longest running Legacy podcasts out there. And
absolutely.
I heard rumors what Pat and Cherry are going to be doing in the future. Can you imagine?
Oh, dude, I got no idea.
I would think that like Pat has probably been hired as like a coach or a scout by the New England Patriots. The actual rumor I heard about Cherry is that he's like how would you say that? he's becoming a mercenary. He's joining some mercenary thing and he's gonna become an international mercenary. He's gonna be a whatever for hire.
Which is like a significant upgrade to, you know, a podcast host.
Playing Sneak and Show, yeah, for sure. Imagine like you show up to a war zone and all of a sudden somebody throws like Grizzlebrand into you and you're like, oh fuck, not again.
Right.
Like that gives you that actually gives you the real PTSD.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of which, have you mentioned that it's only you and I today?
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I didn't even notice. No, Callum is on a secret mission.
It's so quiet today, you know. Like it kind of made me feel a little uncomfortable, but
yeah, we're moving on with the Brexit, right? Great Britain ran out of internet for the week, and unfortunately, Callum doesn't have like the premium Crown Monarch connection or whatever. And
whoop.
Yeah, we had the option to literally call him on the phone, which, by the way, the In Response podcast kind of did with me when I was on their podcast. That was amazing.
Oh, how did that go? It looked like it was kind of spontaneous now.
Not so spontaneous, but that was actually, oh my god, that was last Christmas. That's almost a year ago.
Damn.
Dude, we should go on that podcast next time together because I only talked about Austria last time. Have you ever been to Austria, like in a serious way?
Like 20 years ago, you know, like when I went to like a ski trip or something. I was still like half baby, as I am right now. But you know,
you know, a friend of mine, she actually goes to countries, like she visits them in an ironic way. She went to Transnistria. You know what Transnistria is?
No, I don't know.
You heard about Moldova, and that's like northeast of Romania, and they have like separatist movements that actually succeeded, and like 1/3 of the country, or like more like 1/5 of the country, has split off informally and is running its own thing, but their football leagues are still intertwined. It's like kind of weird. And she was like, I want to go to the weirdest country in Europe I can think of for holidays. And then she went to Transnistria on holidays and blogged about it, how she hung out in like old factory halls and partied and drank, and that's great actually.
Like, you know, like whenever you go on a trip, it's not like, for me personally, it's not like the location itself. It's more like what do I actually do there, you know?
Oh, you're saying you're not appreciating the post-Soviet architecture?
Oh, dude, I mean, I totally am. But like, you know, if my plan is to just literally just hang out, you know, have some good parties, or drink a bunch, make some new friends, I can do that anywhere. I mean, yeah, there's got to be people somewhere in that country. But like
some people would be appreciated. Sure.
Yeah, like like a handful. That'd be good.
Cool. So yeah, dude, what have you been up to? It says you won't go to any restaurant. What? Explain that.
So I think I only put that one sentence in the show notes for today. It says Kai won't go to any restaurant in Berlin for the rest of the year. So hear me out.
Because you want to spend all your money in magic cards.
First of all, yes. And there's so many shitty restaurants in Berlin. I didn't know that.
Oh,
I did not
who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed? It's literally, oh, dude. It's like, so, so I got a girlfriend, and sometimes it's like, hey, we kind of want to get some good food outside, and like, let's see what Google says, right? Because like, usually Google knows everything. Like, Google is like just talking to God, right? Like you kind of know what you get, and you look at those like somewhat good-looking places, and they got good ratings, right? Like a 4.5 or something, which is almost impossible in Japan, by the way. Like, spoiler alert, in Japan, if you're in any place in Japan and you have like a restaurant which is like rated above 3.5, that's probably close to like a Michelin restaurant already.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, if you go to a 3.5 in Europe, it's like, oh, dude, like, there's nothing else in town, right?
Right, I didn't know that. So in my head, I was like, dude, okay, so there are like so many 4.5 places in Berlin. It's like, dude, that's impossible, right? So I went to one of those, and I gotta say, it was like a Vietnamese restaurant, and I gotta say, like, it was probably the shittiest food I had in all of 2022.
Did you rate them?
I did not.
See, that's the problem.
Like that's probably like the whole problem, because like after we went there, we were like super disappointed, and like don't get me wrong, like I'm not Gordon Ramsay who like literally like just spits out everything if it's not good. Like I'm a normal person, right? Like a normal
allegedly.
Right. and but if the food is so bad, or like if you expect like something, like 4, like 5 is the absolute maximum, and if the food is so like mediocre, you go out and it's like, dude, like who actually rates these kind of places? And then I realized it's probably those like local people who have absolutely no idea, right?
It's usually their relatives. Have you never been asked to like rate some? I'm serious.
God,
like I remember a friend of mine not even a friend of mine, the godmother or godfather of the mother of a friend of mine, like 5 times removed. Right. They opened a business and they asked me to rate their business on Google. Google, whatever.
But you haven't been there.
I would never go there. I don't even know what they do, but I rated them, and now my name is out there, and I was actually considering deleting it because I didn't realize that my name is attached to that now.
Like imagine if you like you open a new restaurant, and on the not on the opening day it already has like 200k above ratings, It's like what the actual fuck,
That's what you do, yeah. It's like capacity 50 people one night. Yeah, we served 2,000 people tonight. Everybody's sat there for like 5 minutes.
So it's like some regular numbers, just don't worry about it.
Nothing suspicious at all. Yeah, cool.
So that's what I had like a couple of times during the past couple of weeks, and there are places in the world where you can go out, have good dinner, and it's gonna be always great. Like some countries pop into my mind, like Italy, for example, is like one of them. Japan, obviously, like a lot of Asian countries. But Berlin, definitely not one of them, and I learned it the hard way. So
you will eventually discover the hidden treasures of Berlin, and you'll tell us about it someday. Right. Imagine if Wizards printed a set like from the vault, Berlin.
It would be like all like strip mines and wastelands, and like
Ghost Town. No, not Ghost Town, not so much, but
Ghost Quarter.
That would be it, man.
Like the muddiest cards ever. Like mono brown something, like
and they all have like fading 3 or 4. They like go away.
Oh, dude, definitely. Like vehicles that you can never crew, for example, because they like trains. Literally, like trains never arrive on time. It just never happens. So
Oh, and I can imagine like a vehicle that's a bicycle, and your opponent can attack you with it as well. Like anyone on the table can use it.
Oh, sure, yeah. Or like just a vehicle you cast, and then and does the battlefield like, I don't know, in 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, then it's like tapped in 10 minutes on your opponent's side of the board.
It doesn't even say next turn. It's just like in 10 minutes.
Yeah, dude,
gosh.
technically you could do that in a tournament setting, right? Because like the clock is kind of part of it, but yeah, that's
I mean, 10 minutes, that's like 5 turns, isn't it?
depends on the deck. Like
But
for Marcus, it's just like a single land drop or something.
Right. But what have you been up to?
Dude, I was gonna talk about like how I'm excited for the 4K commander decks, the 40K commander decks, because I'm gonna play those on the weekend.
Oh, hell yeah.
And like the Brothers War promos, like holy shit, that Wormcoil engine and that Phyrexian Revoker, they look like gas. Absolutely gas.
Absolutely. Do you know Wormcoil Engine's German card name?
Of course. It's like
Dude.
like they taught it to you, like they taught it to me in like primary school back then.
In school, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
In school,
It's,
like
it's
that.
the mighty Wurmspiralmaschine. Yeah, pretty much. The mighty Wurmspiralmaschine.
Right, and like I was wondering like why this card is so popular, because if you pronounce it in English, it's Worm Spiral Machine.
Yeah.
Dude, like, is there any better card name ever? I don't think so.
In English?
Yeah, I mean, I almost like in any language, but like Worm Spiral Machine is like, dude, it's the end boss. It's like,
Oh, if you pronounce the German word in English.
yeah, the worm,
As
yeah,
if it was an English word. Okay, now
Right,
you got me.
right.
Okay.
so cool, so cool.
Worm spiral machine. They couldn't do like the SCH. Somehow they always pronounce it as a K, like machine.
Oh,
Machine.
I thought they say, oh, okay.
Oh,
we take,
because there's a C in
we
there.
take those. Anyway, we take those. But
Yeah, but you know what? Actually, what I've been up to? I went to the diving trade fair. My favorite diving trade fair in Friedrichshafen. It's called Interdive.
Ooh.
And yeah, I don't know, man. This is just like the best time of the year whenever I'm not in Kenya, at least work related, because you meet so many amazing people. And once a day, I get to do a presentation on the big stage. And I don't know, man. I just love that shit. Like I didn't like doing presentations back in school because it was boring. But like doing presentations about stuff that I'm actually excited for. And like I remember on one of the days I had to run up to the stage because I was running late, because I had to like counsel somebody on Kenya. And then I ran to the stage. As I ran up the stage, I grabbed the microphone and I like jump on the stage, just like shouting, who's down for some Kenya? And then like some people in the audience were like, yeah, let's do Kenya. And
put your hands up.
yeah. And then I just like started throwing out bracelets into the crowd and just like, dude, that's the shit, man.
Dude,
I love that.
you're a fucking rock star, dude.
Yeah,
that's not even a presentation. That's like a live concert of some sort. It's like,
I mean, you try to make it that because some of the other presentations there's like, okay, and then we develop this machine. It will make it easier for you to come up after I dive again.
Oh, screw that.
It's like, yeah, cool, amazing.
Just give me some drums and bass, It's like,
I mean, that's what my presentation is pretty much like. I think next time I need to add like some music or something. But we will see. I loved it, and yeah, lots of people interested in Kenya, and we will see how that works.
That is really sick. Is like, did you see like how does it change in the like fall winter season, in terms of like attendance, or like are people interested in like Kenya trips like more in the summer, or like how does
So
it
the
change?
peak season for us is definitely festive seasons, or Christmas, New Year's, January, and a little bit of February. That's like the absolute peak season because that's where it's the coldest in Europe, and I can't really say the hottest in Kenya. It is, but really only by a couple of degrees because we're almost exactly smacked up on the equator. So there's not too much of difference except for May. I'm starting to enter my marketing talk, except for May, where there's the rainy season. So I recommend against that. But if you come in May, we can give you a better safari, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, if you want to see the Great Migration come between beginning of July and beginning of October, that's where like almost 2 million zebras and wildebeests, they come from the plains of the Serengeti into the Masai Mara. And you know what's hilarious? I have one of those pictures that I show from above, where you see thousands of wildebeests, and they follow just a couple of zebras. Like there's this huge crowd of wildebeests, and then there's like I think 10 zebras in front of them, and they literally just follow them because they are stupid, but they are also smart enough to know that they are stupid, and they know that the zebras, which is by the way a very dumb animal, are more intelligent than them. Yeah, so they just like go wherever the zebras go.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
They understand. This animal is smarter than I am.
me. Yeah, then I should probably follow them.
The zebras could actually abuse that power.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of like people who complete like net deck, someone's deck list, and that was like plus a sideboard card. It's like, I mean, like that. I guess that person is smarter than me, so I gotta like do exactly the same thing. That's at least that's at least like what I did like way back when I was like like 16, 17, 18 years old when I played Legacy. I was just not like there was this one guy in our playing group who had like Canadian Threshold with like Nimble Mongoose and like Tarmogoyfs and things like that, and I just didn't get it, honestly. Like I just got crushed by like Maverick and like bigger decks, but I kept like copying this guy's deck list plus the sideboard guides, because I thought he's like way smarter than me. Like he's doing like all those like 5-0s and like, you know, undefeated whatever tournament finishes, and I was like only like the 0-3 bracket dude, you know, and that's exactly what I did. I mean, it didn't matter, but you know.
Yeah, in the long run it did, I guess.
Right.
You gotta like eat shit before you
paid off like
grow.
10 years later. Yeah, thank you so much.
Cool.
But that's really exciting though.
Yeah, that was a great time. Also like makes my life really crazy right now because so many people, I just told you before the cast, right? There's just like so many people who want to get married in Kenya, and I can only like attend to so many of their requests. But yeah, I mean, at some point you just go home and you record a podcast and life goes on, and then you respond on the next day. When there's like today, I was answering emails, and while an email came in, like 4 more came in. I was like, this is never ending. Like this doesn't make any sense.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
But yeah, let's move into, or is there anything amazing you want to announce as well?
No, I got like one thing, one card that really stood out to me in the like the 4K 40k command decks in the Brothers Walk promos is the Phyrexian Revoker. Like that card, I think you mentioned just like, you know, just briefly, but I wanted to talk about this card and how much I thought that this card will never leave Legacy for like the longest time. Like I remember me saying to like one of my closest friends like back then that as long as sneak attack is legal in Legacy, Phyrexian Revoker will stay. Like something like that, you know. I told him, and dude, I was wrong. Well,
you know, I wonder what one of the sacred cows of our times is that will be gone in like 5 years' time. It's like, who would have thought that Brainstorm is falling out of favor, or Wasteland,
dude,
or I don't know.
I was scared that you're gonna say like Das ist Oracle. Holy shit, yeah.
Well, Dark Ritual, I guess.
Oh god, that will break my neck. Yeah, dude, that will probably break my neck.
Yeah, we're laughing now. But since you mentioned cards, I also want to point out the Phyrexian Dragon engine from the Brothers War, and that card is kind of crazy. Like it's a new card for 3 mana. It's a 2/2 artifact creature, Phyrexian Dragon.
Yep.
Somehow it doesn't have flying, even though it's a dragon, but it has double strike. When Phyrexian Dragon engine enters the battlefield from your graveyard, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. Unearth for 3 colorless and 2 red. So basically it has that red, the new red looting ability, right? To discard your heart, draw 3 cards. It's kind of cool because Callum pointed this out. This is really good with both Goblin Welder and Goblin Engineer.
It's an artifact. Holy smokes!
How could you miss that this is an artifact? Like, have you looked at it?
I was looking at the artwork like this whole time. It's like I almost don't care what color this is. Oh, this is an artifact.
How can you play Magic, man? Like, this is an artifact. Oh my god!
I was so focused on like where are the wings? Yeah, why doesn't it have flying? You know, it's like so focused on the artwork so much. And it's like, oh man, this is an artifact. That's crazy. Because you know, like the first thing I thought it was like, dude, this is maybe cool and dredge. This is like the first thing I thought. It's like, dude, you can crack like 2 LEDs, you know, to unearth this.
Oh, amazing.
But like, okay, yeah. I guess you gotta have those 2 LEDs, but I don't know. It has melt though. It melts with something.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
If this and another Planeswalker like Mishra attack together, then it melts into another creature and it does like the crazy stuff. But yeah, you can do this. And if you bring it in, it basically draws you 3 cards, right? Unless you also want to keep the other ones. But this is pretty cool. I like it. And there's even like a world where you just like pay for the unearth. It's not unheard of to get 5 mana.
Oh, totally. Yeah,
especially in a soul land deck.
I mean, like you know, you already mentioned the painter deck, and it is a mountain deck after all.
A mountain deck, dude. We're deep.
A mountain deck.
Dude, like, I'm playing a mountain deck. What do you have? Oh, I have an island deck.
I have a swamp deck.
Yeah, give me a what's it called? Like a forest mana.
Yeah, didn't you? Oh, I said swamp mana. I said it. Oh no, I said skull mana.
No, we were cultured. Like we said black mana.
Black mana, yeah, that sounds like so.
And we added black mana to our mana pool.
Advanced, yeah.
That's how we did it.
I dig it. Phyrexian Dragon Engine, though, very cool card. I like that. I like that. This is like based on probably one of the older cards from Antiquities, which is called a Dragon Engine, right? There is a Dragon Engine card.
Oh,
which by the way, I don't think it has flying. It has like this wonky artwork First of all, I think it's like a 1/3 or something like that, and it
I
has
literally
like
only see the artwork in front of me. I don't even know what it does.
Yeah,
you know what?
like
By the power of the internet, I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, it has a pump ability. It can pump its power only for, I think, for 2 mana, which is, the shittiest trade ever.
Dude, you're right.
But
this
it
is exactly the card.
Mana, I think it is like a 3 mana 1/2 or 1/3 or something like that.
1/3, yes.
And of course, it's in the same set as Mishra's Workshop, so you can like casually dump this guy on the field on turn 1, and then never pump it because Mishra's Workshop is Mishra's Workshop. Oh gosh, it's so terrible. It is so terrible. It's so bad.
You know what I love about this? Like back then when all the cards were like really shitty, but the flavor text played them up like a lot. Like look at this. This is a 3 mana 1/3. It's like, who's gonna be scared of that, right? But the flavor text is, those who believed the city of Krug would never fall to Mishra's forces severely underestimated the might of his war machines. Like, oh.
I got goosebumps.
It's like Mishra walks up to the city, it's like, oh, look at these 1/3s I have, and like all the balls are like, come at me.
Shit.
Yeah, we will see how the Brothers War is going to play out. Like, I literally have no idea when all of these sets are releasing. All I know is that the Commander decks are coming out on Friday.
But shout out to anyone out there who's listening. If you got your not Mishra's Workshops, your metal workers and your, I don't know, like what other crazy artifacts you played back in the day in your mod deck, just just get them out. This might be a very good looking mono brown deck. It's probably not the best deck in Legacy ever, but it might just look very good.
I'm not even sure which deck we're talking. Oh, you're saying like a mono alt frame, mono brown deck?
Yeah, something like that.
That's basically what Vintage used to be like, except for a couple. Yeah, you remember like Vintage Workshop decks before all the new stuff came in? That's basically what they look like.
Yeah, something like that. Like Metalworker, maybe like Tanglewire, like those kind of.
Triskelion even,
Triskelion,
kind of
sure. Yeah. Give me some of those.
I remember when like Sword of Fire and Ice used to see play in that deck, and then we got the old frame promo of Sword of Fire and Ice, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is perfect."
Dude, sign me up.
And then we got stuff like Lodestone Golem and stuff. I guess Chalice was always there most of the time, but yeah.
Right.
So, Kai, we're coming together for this basically impromptu cast because there's like really big news. But before we go into that, let's give a very short overview of what we're going to talk about. We're going to quickly answer a couple of questions about stickers that were posted on the last episode. Then we're going to go very deep into the 30th anniversary celebration of whale hunting.
Hell yeah.
And then we're going to round it out by looking at a couple of tournaments like the Premodern European Championships and the, what's it called? Not Leaving a Legacy, the Legacy Pit.
The Legacy Pit Open that happened last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend.
Good.
Somewhere on the East Coast. So yeah, about those stickers, man. We got a question coming to us from Kinda that we didn't talk about last time.
Hi, Kinda.
Kinda says he deleted this other question. What? Okay, he's got a new one. Do you think there's a potential pipeline of modern, Pioneer, etc. players to Legacy who want to try the bigger Universes Beyond sets, but who aren't EDH players? It actually took me a moment to understand the question. Do you get it?
I think so. So basically, he's asking like, if you are not a Commander player, like, would you ever touch those sets like 40k, Doctor Who, etc.? And I would say yeah. I mean, like, I started to play Commander like recently, but I think those like supplementary sets are pretty interesting. They I hear a lot of people say, like, I don't want to say like naysayers at first, but are kind of like questioning those sets that look a little like wonky maybe, or like not fantasy-ish, as like for example, like the Warhammer 40k set is a somewhat like futuristic like set from a completely different universe, and not every Magic player has played Warhammer in the past, so I can definitely see that. However, I think both of those cards are designed for Commander gameplay. Like if you look at the Warhammer set, for example, like it has a bunch of first of all, it is a Commander product only, I think. And most of the cards that got printed in this set, by the way, it's going to be released in 3 days, I think, are pretty like Commander-ish, if you get what I mean. Like they're like 6 mana bombs, and I don't know, like just legendary 3-color nonsense creatures with like tons and tons of text, a lot of flavor, cool artwork.
So did we both misunderstand the question initially?
Oh wait, what?
Because I thought that kind of was talking about like these players who already are enfranchised Modern and Pioneer players. They see these supplemental sets and they're like, ooh, dude, I want to touch those cards. I want to play with those cards. And the only option for them to do it is to play either Legacy or EDH. And he's saying if they don't want to play EDH, will they come into Legacy just because of those cards?
Hell no. That won't happen, unfortunately. I mean, sorry guys, you're always welcome to start Legacy, but don't expect to run into a lot of like Warhammer 40k cards just because you picked up your first plateau.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I also don't see it happening. It's just like it feels to me like you're like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a Ferrari because it has this really nice radio. I don't even know if Ferraris have radios. That's how it kind of feels like to me.
It's like from like 20 years ago, probably. But yeah, no.
Actually, I'm really curious. Do Ferraris have radios?
I mean, if I don't know, like, so it probably has like a sound machine. I was gonna say like. A sound machine.
That's what they called it like 200 years ago. Oh, let's listen to the sound machine.
It has like a sound machine where you can plug your phone, and it's like ready to go.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Right.
But I also don't think that this is like any real incentive to get a significant number of those players interested in Legacy. It's just because like Legacy is too expensive, right?
Exactly.
And unless you play proxy tournaments, but then again, would you play those Universes Beyond cards really?
I mean, probably as a one-off in some deck, right? Like I like one of my closest friends from Japan. Like he's French, by the way. he played vintage.
I like how you laugh about that.
Dude, I mean, he's French. Well, enough said. And he has a vintage Belcher deck, and I think he played like one of those Street Fighter cards as a one-off in the sideboard or something like that. And it's like, you can already tell. Well, I mean, people love pet cards. That's all I can say. Like,
imagine like you play a tournament, then you lose to like, I don't know, Hadouken. That's basically like the Incinerate or something. I guess it does like 3 damage. I mean,
that's kind of like a cool way though. I would love to lose to that. Like better than
depends on the tournament, I guess.
Thalia, yeah.
Better than Thalia. Sure. Cool. So second question coming to us from Needon. With Modern Horizons, Baldur's Gate, Warhammer, and Infinity all making a splash, do you think it's time to re-evaluate their inclusion in Legacy? And more broadly, how do you feel about Universes Beyond and choke cards being in the format? Kai, how do you feel about that?
I think I kind of touched on this with the last question, because I think I kind of misunderstood Kanda's question.
Yeah, that was basically kind of like your answer.
It's basically what I said. I feel like I'm kind of positive and open for these kind of sets. I think they're kind of swingy, like some cards stay in those formats for maybe like a month or two, and then they kind of disappear because people like a lot of those cards are like either like meme cards, or people are always excited if something new comes out, and they're like new toys, and then there's like this wonky Esper colored card, but maybe can splash it in my Stoneblade, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's cool for like a week or two again. It's gonna be like, a lot of laughter maybe at the table, but that's it. Yeah. I would, right?
Yeah, there's two things. So I would split that between like all the Universes Beyond cards, like Baldur's Gate, Warhammer, Infinity, and what have you, like Transformers or whatever comes, and Modern Horizons, because I think all the Universes Beyond cards, they, except for Minsk and Boo, who is actually looking really strong, I don't see any of them really like being a thing. Maybe I missed something out of Baldur's Gate, but at the end I don't really care. Like, I don't really care as long as they're like not playable, and if they are playable, maybe they add like to good gameplay. Like that's I guess the only thing I really care about. I don't care where they come from, and I guess it's kind of weird if they have like weird artwork that totally doesn't fit into Magic and the flavor is super off. And I mean, there is a danger that it could get out of hand if they printed a lot of very playable cards, and I think at that point we should reevaluate. But I think we are very far from that, like very far from that. So it doesn't really like.
I think that's a good point. I think people should be happy if new cards make it to Legacy, and it almost like doesn't matter where they're coming from, right? Like if it's a supplementary set, if it's a regular set, if it's a core set, doesn't matter.
It's all about the gameplay and the rate at which they enter Legacy.
Yeah, totally,
and I mean, I can understand if people are frustrated with Legacy changing too much too quickly, because that has always been a big part of the format identity, that you can just like step back from the format for like half a year easily and nothing would change too drastically, and now it probably does. I think that's a point of concern, but that to me that doesn't necessarily tie in with like, oh, Universes Beyond. It's just like if they weren't printing Universes Beyond, they would print something else, and there's just like no scenario where they don't include them in Legacy. And I think that's the bigger point. It's not like Wizards actively decides, oh, this should be included in Legacy. Wizards decides this should be included in what they refer to as Eternal, right? Anything that doesn't rotate it. And Legacy and Vintage just happen to be part of that. And to them, in the end, it's really only about Commander. Like, they want that stuff to be legal in Commander. And they don't explicitly state, oh, this is for Commander. They state this is for Eternal, or like happens to be Legacy and Vintage as well. And I think that's that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I think like in comparison to like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, like there are way more content creators and on the mighty internet these days.
You have the mighty internet? I only have regular internet.
I mean, in Berlin, it's kind of like shitty, lame, super slow internet.
Yeah, they gotta make up for it, I guess.
It's still mighty, though. It's still mighty.
It's like the Democratic Republic of North Korea. It sounds better, but it's actually shittier.
Just gotta wrap it in different words, yeah.
Yeah, I work in marketing. I know how it works.
But like the end of the day is that like people, like content creators need new stuff, you know, like things to be excited about. And yeah, I think like those releases, they really push content creation to a whole new level, where people like just don't repeat their I don't know their deck from like 5 years ago, you know, because that's gonna be lame at some point.
I mean, that's what Vintage kind of used to be like for a while. It's like, oh, I made this change in the sideboard, and now it's a totally different deck. I mean, we do that in Legacy as well.
I mean, yeah, this sounds like so much like Blue Red Delver these days. Like, dude, I made this one change in the sideboard, dude. Poof.
Yeah, like Max said, right? I brewed a new deck, and it's Delver. Cool. Yeah. So, and the last thing is we actually had a question last time posed by Callum and not answered by Callum, but he submitted, well, technically an answer, and that was, how does this ___ goblin work when it gets bolted in response to its triggered ability? And for those who don't remember, the goblin comes into play, and then you smash, I think, 1 or 2 stickers on it, and then you get mana equal to the number of unique vowels in those stickers. It's whatever.
Oh yeah, it was a really tricky question. Yeah, I think we couldn't find an answer last. Yeah, we
tried to like find it out, but we couldn't really. And then Callum actually looked into it, and he provided the answer in one of our chats. And the answer is, there is no answer, and we have to wait for an update of the comprehensive rules.
Screw you, Callum. This is such a worse. Oh god, this is actually the worst, really, like the worst comment you can like throw on.
I don't mind it. Like, I just loved how Callum posted that without any kind of source, except for like he asked someone, and I just assumed this must be like some real authority. And then like later on, I asked Callum, hey, where did you actually get this from? And he was like, oh, this is just some dude from London.
It's like some dude from London.
But he added that the guy knows the rules really well. I like to put that into my master thesis. Some dude from London
who
knows the rules really well.
Yeah.
2022.
Put that on my nameplate, please. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, that's the new word for judge.
Nice.
So yeah, this we will find out. Something else we found out today, like, holy fuck, Wizards of the Coast is reprinting Black Lotus. Kai, do you own a Black Lotus?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Wow.
From Unlimited. I got it in 2019. I mean, I don't want to flex too much, dude, but I really got this Black Lotus, you know. Yeah, you know, it's like this child dream. I think everyone is like dreaming of the having, like, you know, Power 9 maybe, or like a Lotus or something.
Or a house.
Or a house, you know. I mean, I don't have a house. I got this like cardboard.
I remember when we went to GP Lille 2015, like we went for dinner and you just randomly pulled out a blue Hurricane.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was not mine though. That was for like someone else. But
of course.
Yeah, I was a dealer. You know, it's just like just making sure that the deal happens.
Did you randomly pick it up, or was it like prearranged?
I brought it from Japan. No, wait. I got it in Lille and took it back to Japan to a store. Yeah. But again, it wasn't mine. I was really only involved as the guy who takes it back to Japan. Yes. So
it's kind of crazy when you think about how easily you could like move insane amounts of money across borders without anybody ever really like noticing in Magic cards.
yeah, dude. I mean, people don't know shit about Magic. Really, it's still crazy to me. Like even like with like these announcements, of like Black Lotus getting a new, I almost want to say like a reprint, but like a proxy reprint. We're gonna talk about it in a bit, but like those like who doesn't know about Black Lotus?
Well, I know a lot of people who probably won't know about Black Lotus. Yeah.
Which is like so crazy to me because like Magic the Gathering, after all, is like the most I think like the most well known trading card game ever.
By far,
right. So I mean, people know about Charizard, so they should.
I've always heard that rumor, and I want to believe it's true that there's like. First of all, it only really makes sense when you do like something illegal, right? So you can afford to take a cut because there's no better way to do it when you try to get your money across borders. And the story I heard is that Canadian or American Canadian drug cartels or whatever, they get their drug money, they buy Magic cards, they move the Magic cards across the border, and then they resell them. And that's how they get money across the border without ever like causing any kind of suspicion.
Really?
I don't know if that's like
crazy.
a thing you could do like regularly, because at some point it's just like it starts being really weird, and at some point I guess one of the countries actually runs out of Power 9 cards. It's like you move all the Power 9 from like Canada to the US. Like,
I mean, hashtag everyday eternal finance. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's the hidden channel.
Please,
Discord.
please retweet or something. Just
somebody's gonna do it. They're gonna blame us and say, "Hey, Kai and Julian told me to do it."
Right. And now I'm in jail. Okay, cool. Yeah, but back to those 30th anniversary celebration. So I think most people have heard of it by now. So Magic's gonna be old.
Next year it's
Next
gonna be
year.
old.
I think it starting with the GP, we can't say GP, but the what's it called, Magic Fest in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get sued if you say GP.
Yeah, you can't say GP. Like was it like Magic Fest? Do you say Magic Fest?
Is it Fire Festival Las Vegas? I don't know.
Man, I got no idea. Like some random Las Vegas event.
The Gathering, the one, whatever.
Exactly.
That's a really big one. But is it not actually Las Vegas? No, there's one big in Las Vegas, and then there's another one, I think in like Utah, like somewhere out. I don't know. There's two big ones.
Oh, I only knew about Las Vegas. But
one
I mean,
is,
they can do multiples. I don't mind.
Well, one is organized by Wizards, and the other one is like privately organized. But yeah, you're talking about the one in Vegas.
Right. But, long story short, they're going to make like a bunch of products, like special products to like celebrate the 30 years, which I think is great. Like Magic is a cool game. A lot of people have been like playing it for 30 years. I want to say I'm 30 years old. Damn, it's great. But they made an announcement about some product that I think is a little controversial. Hashtag $1,000.
It's literally the most expensive Magic product ever sold by Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, so what this is I think Wizards of the Coast, they announced that there's gonna be a special, like how are they even called? I think like just limited booster packs or something like that.
Well, it's called the 30th anniversary edition.
Fine, okay, and you can buy a display,
quote unquote display.
Yeah, quote unquote display for $1,000. So most people might think that's, well, I mean, a display usually has like what?
I think they call it booster box in English.
Oh, it's booster box. Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a little like misunderstanding here because a lot of people might believe that it has like 24 packs or something like that, right? But this one has not. It is only 4 packs. 4 booster packs are in there. And those booster packs are regular, like 15 cards. They have a retro basic land, I think, and a retro card at random, which might, be one of those like beta cards. But the whole set is basically from like the super, super early sets, if not like beta exclusively. I don't know. I gotta look that one up.
It's basically all beta cards. They removed a couple of beta cards, namely Contract from Below, Dark Pact, Demonic Attorney, Earthbind, Weakness, and Crusade. And I guess I understand why most of them got removed. They basically like removed, which one are they? Crusade, because of that whole cultural insensitivity thing. Then the anti-cards, Bondage Fairy, which is Earthbind. And then they removed Weakness, which I found weird. But Twitter pointed out maybe it's just like it's painting people with a disability in a bad light.
I mean, it's just this old guy. right?
Yeah, I'm really not seeing it. Like I
yeah.
understand that might be the explanation, but I think it's really reaching.
Right. But like I gotta say, like I kind of like this weakness card a lot because it has such a cool text. It says like if target creature loses -2, -1, if this drops the creature's toughness below 1, it is dead. It is so cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, it's just like it points out again, you know, that thing is really dead. If you cast this on a Raging Goblin, I guess there was no Raging Goblin, but if you cast this on a what has toughness 1? I don't know.
Moon's Goblin, Pillaging Goblin Horse, or whatever we had in the like. I don't remember the beta cards. I'm so bad at that.
Like Murfolk of the Pearl Trident. So
Yeah,
if you cast out on that, it is dead, my man. You know, like,
But does it go to the graveyard?
It is really dead.
Maybe it gets incinerated or something. Okay. Yeah, I think the card is really cool. I thought they removed it because they said they removed it because they wanted to this product with a modern approach. We wanted to be nostalgic, but not everything met our modern standards, so removed 6 cards. I thought they removed I literally thought they removed it because the card was too weak. That's what I like.
Dude,
I looked at...
yeah, we don't want to reprint shitty cards. You know, they better be good, like Uro or Omnath or Ragavan. You know, like.
I literally thought they removed it because it was like just because they had like a certain number of cards they could reprint on like a sheet, and they were like, oh damn, we have to cut 1 card, and they were like, okay, let's cut the weakest card. Which is the weakest card? Oh, it's weakness. Okay.
I mean, look at Black Lotus. What a power creep, you know? Like we had Uros and Ragavans. Look at Black Lotus. It's just so much better.
Dude, I played with weakness. I picked it in draft even. I believe. I mean, it's not the worst thing. It's like a removal spell kind of.
Probably something that says like exchange a color to another color or some shit like. Or probably like any of those 1,000 vaults they have in beta, because there's so many bad vault creatures. Holy smokes.
So yeah, this is what we're gonna get. And like you mentioned, there's gonna be 15 cards in each of those packs. 13 are gonna be in the modern frame. One of which is going to be like a rare, 3 uncommons, 7 commons, and 2 basic lands somehow, plus 1 basic land in the retro frame, 1 additional retro frame card, and a token. This is just like already going way too deep. But you know what I love? I love the next part in the description about the set. The retro frame slot, especially interesting, as approximately 3 out of every 10 packs will contain a rare retro frame card. And now here we go. Anything from a Black Lotus to a Mahamoti Chin or a Volcanic Island. I'm like, whoa!
Wait,
the 3 greatest cards in beta.
Right, like yeah, it should go like from Black Lotus to like what's the shittiest rare you can ever pull?
The shittiest rare in beta, dude. That's a question for the Discord.
It's probably like some shitty mediocre creature. I don't know.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna ask this on the Discord while we record, and maybe we're gonna find an answer.
Yeah, if you're still listening, everyone, type it in the comments, type it in the chat, type it on Twitter.
We're not streaming.
Oh yeah, and also type it in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's kind of like me asking for reviews on Spotify for like 2 years, and nobody ever leaves a review, and I go.
But seriously though, like the range must be like really like wide and. Like first of all, I think it sounds kind of cool, but here's the crux. Okay, so this is not a legal set, right? This is not you can't play with any of those cards in any Magic the Gathering event. Not in a Friday Night Match. I guess you can play it in the draft maybe if everyone's playing it, but you can't play this in any of your like Legacy, Vintage, Modern, constructed decks if you go to an official event. And here's the thing, right? Like, do people actually pay $1,000 to get random products that they can't even use in a regular event?
It's 60 cards, right? You pay $1,000 for 60 random beta cards.
Oh yeah, and I mean most of them are like shitty commons and
like
shitty and commons and uncommons, like I don't know, grizzly bears and yeah, I mean
like, it's like no offense,
but you know.
Other than like Power 9 and duels. And I mean, yeah, I mean it's nice to get a Birds of Paradise or Shivan Dragon or whatever, but
you could drip like a fireball, yeah, but like maybe like fireballs, like what among the
Could we actually reach like, oh, imagine if you open a fireball in your $1,000 pack, like ooh.
Right. So
yeah, man, this is just like the shittiest product Wizards ever made. I'm gonna call it as I see it.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
This is just crazy. I know that Magic has done a lot of overpriced special sets. A couple of them, like for example, like Secret Layers, for example, like any like limited prints of like special sets and so on. But this has gone a little too far for my taste, at least, especially for proxies. Like, imagine if you buy $1,000 pack to then get a plateau which you can proxy instead of like buying a regular plateau. I don't know. Like,
yeah, the thing is, like, even if you get up like Lotus, like you can play those in events where proxies were already legal in the first place. And you can get like really nice proxies. I hear like even somebody on the cast might do proxies for people.
Oh, dude, I got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, ask me. I can. What's the deal here? So you can get 60 proxies for $1,000. I can make you 1,000 proxies for $60. Actually, that's a pretty bad deal. I should probably never do that. I should probably never do that. Yeah, I really don't get the appeal here. And maybe it is fair to relate this to, or compare this to some other sets that have been non-legal, like Collector's Edition and International Collector's Edition, right? Like those cards are out there already. Like,
yeah, and those were released back in, I think, 1994 or 1995. And Tom DeDecker, a friend of the podcast, supporter of the podcast, actually did the math, or rather a friend of his did the math. And it basically turns out back then you could buy a whole collection of Collector's Edition for $50, and inflation included, that's about $100 today, and you got the entire set. Now we pay 10 times the amount of that, and we get like 60 random cards. It's like, what
crazy.
The fuck? I don't know, man. Like, I think the one argument that's always going to be there is, hey, let people spend their money on what they want to spend their money on. Yeah, sure, but that's not going to stop us from like giving shit to Wizards for trying to like milk a product that's not worth $1,000.
Right. We're gonna have our shitty opinions about shitty products, and no one can stop us. So, so here's my question to you then. What would you say? Like, what is the threshold for a proxy card? Like, let's say you got a cube, right? Because I think a lot of people want to like have some proxy cards in their cube deck, maybe. Cube or maybe Commander deck, and like, how much would you pay for, like a decent proxy cards, like nothing handwritten, like something maybe unique, or something just good looking.
But like if we are talking about a single card, I literally couldn't even tell you because I couldn't tell you. Like, it really depends on how nice it looked, but I could see paying, I don't know, $20, $30, $40, even if it was like...
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like 50. I would say like 50 is probably like, what, just draw the line maybe. But anything above 50, I mean, it has to be like, I don't know, like Chef's Kiss probably.
Yeah, or continue your thought. I want to...
No, that's like, because people are going to compare proxies to like regular card prices, right? And if proxies become too expensive, then like what's the point of getting a proxy if the original product is like, I don't know, almost like the same price, Yeah,
it's crazy. The thing I want to bring up is, I think that the method of distribution is really off when it comes to proxies. Like, people who buy proxies they target cards. I want this proxy. I don't want 60 random proxies from beta. I want this, and this card. And I think if Wizards printed something like From the Vault, Dual Lands, or I guess we call it like Epic Gamble. What's it called? Not Epic Gamble.
Secret Lair?
Secret Lair.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Epic Gamble. That's literally like a legacy deck. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. Shout outs to Tony Schiavone. If they printed the Secret Lair, Dual Lands, and Power 9 or something, I think people would be willing to maybe pay $200, maybe even more for a set of proxies. Of course, Wizards is not going... I mean, I say of course, but Wizards is not going to frame it as that, right? It's not like, hey, you can buy proxies directly from us now. Because I guess that would be awkward. But I don't like how they tied it to this random method now of like distributing it this way. Because you also brought up like, how much would you pay for a cube? And I think that's something people have talked a lot about in the last 10 years even. If Wizards ever sold a pre-made cube with like non-tournament legal cards, people would spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
I think if Wizards printed a pre-made cube, don't even care if it's like powered or unpowered, and it's like really nicely made, and I think people would easily spend 200, 300, 400 euros on that, maybe 500
I would
even.
say so. Yeah, that's almost like buying a board game, like a Settlers of Catan or like Dominion or like any of those like other. Just you just buy that one product, get like 8 people and that and you're good to go. That's it. Nothing to add, nothing to remove.
Yeah, and it entertains 8 people for hours, and you can replay it so many times. So I think it would really warrant like a kind of a really high price. But this method of distribution by like random chance, I don't know, man, it feels so off.
Yeah, so we might see that product in probably like 2.5 years, for probably like $10,000. So, stay tuned, everyone. That's gonna be out there very soon. So don't you worry.
Yeah. So, and speaking of getting like the Power 9, another friend of Callum actually, dude, Callum has so many friends, man. We're doing it wrong.
They're all called like friends and like, like friend from London who knows the rules.
We should play like Friendship is Magic. Isn't that like this pony game? I don't know.
It's just like so many friends.
He had a friend who calculated that you will get about a 1/3 chance of getting a Power 9 in, is it a pack or in each pack? Something like that. You get a rare in each pack. No, I think it's actually... So yeah, anyway, your chance of like even getting a single Power 9 isn't all that high. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I guess people are gonna buy it as an investment.
Dude,
but
I mean,
then...
yeah, like imagine you pay like $1,000 and then and then your rare slots are like Fireball, Sarah Angel, freaking Channel, and then something else useless. I don't know.
Dude, we have actually answers from chat here. We actually summoned chat from the Discord, and the worst rares in beta, according to our chat, are Blaze of Glory, Animate Wall, Farmstead, Chaos Lace.
Do you know what Animate Walls does? That is such a shit.
It's hilarious. It allows your walls to attack as if they weren't walls, and it's an enchantment. But it only costs 1 white, so it's almost worth it, right? But the artwork is amazing. Like, if you've never seen the artwork,
I know that that's like one of the like goofiest artworks ever. It's like this one lady who's like trying to cast a spell on like a cartoon-ish looking wall with just like super tiny legs and arms, and it just looks super stupid.
Yeah, the wall is like not impressed at all.
This is such a meme card. This is like a meme that came out even before people knew about memes.
Oh, by the way, the original wording in Alpha is amazing. Target wall can now attack. Target wall's power and toughness are unchanged, even if its power is 0. It's like, yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what the rules say.
Yeah. We just ignored that back in school. Like, we literally attacked with Wall of Swords every single turn.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I mean, and then somebody opened like Rolling Stones and said like walls can attack as if they weren't walls, and we're like, what? Of course they can.
That's like pure card disadvantage. I
think it still is kind of like card disadvantage. But yeah, dude, seriously, fuck this product. Like, fuck it as hard as you can. This is dog shit. This is absolutely dog shit. I think we've rarely been like this harsh on product, especially when it's like, hey, let Wizards extract as much money from the whales as they can. But this is shit, man.
Right. Yeah. Ignore this product and rather go to Sawatarix.com, where you can get your unique alterations for $35, per card. Okay, you can actually scratch that. But I'm actually making those, and you might be, I might add some value to your MTG lifestyle. So there's that.
Yeah,
well,
you know how I actually imagine. Like, I love to imagine that how they came up with the price for this product. Like, I like to imagine they sat in their meeting room and somebody was like, okay, yeah, so how do we price this? How much should we sell it for? And then somebody was like, $1,000. And they were like, deal.
Oh, man.
Genius.
Seriously, yeah. Or like they roll the dice or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
$1,000. Yeah. By the way, somehow there's also some fuckery with the slots, like the uncommon and common slots. All the rarities have remained unchanged except for Soul Ring, which is now both common and uncommon.
Oh, that's interesting. Did you know that Soul Ring is it has its most printings as a common slot, right, in those commander products?
Oh, is it? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. It's like I think like in every single, not in every single, but I think in most commander decks, pre-constructed ones, Soul Ring is in there as a common card.
I think they put it in every single one these days. Yeah.
It might be, yeah. So, and I think Soul Ring was only an uncommon, like in the very old days. So, I
remember when Soul Ring was like this very special card. Like, people sometimes they didn't consider it like part of the Power 9, but power level wise, like it's up there,
like over the top, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard reasonable arguments that Soul Ring is a pick over Black Lotus in draft.
Yeah, I mean, like that's I mean, it stays on the field. It's good. It's good. Black Lotus is more like a super dark ritual, like a Cabal, a threshold Cabal ritual. You know, you can only have it once.
Of course, that's how you would describe it.
It's like, oh, you know, that's just don't worry. It's like it's like some shitty threshold comment from Scourge, or like no, whatever that set is.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Okay.
So yeah, basically what I want to say is, if you want to buy this, like, don't feel bad about buying this. But I don't think like I would be curious what you want to get out of this, other than maybe treating it as an investment that you hope will appreciate over time. Right. Because I don't really see much that you can get out of this. There's even like this other card game where they printed Black Lotus. I mean, it has a weird 0 at the very top or bottom, I don't remember. And you could even use that as a proxy. I mean, it's not as beautiful, but...
Right. Okay, so here's also like another thing that just popped into my mind. So maybe you guys remember you remember the what is it called, the non-Magic the Gathering Black Lotus that got released like a year or two ago?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, what's that one called?
I tried to find out, nobody knew. It's some other kind of card game.
I think it's like Dual Masters, I think, right?
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, it has...
You know what? I'm going to Google that. Give me a second.
Yeah, I think it's Dual Masters. And what's so special about it is that it has the same cardboard, or like the same material. It has the same size as a Magic card. I think it also has the same weight as a Magic card. It's just not a Magic card.
Yeah, and it costs 40 euros right now.
And it's like pretty much the same thing as the product they're about to release, you know, with this Black Lotus. Like, you can't really play it. It has the Black Lotus artwork, and well, I mean, there is it. $40. I think people went crazy about this Dual Masters Black Lotus when it got released. I think people paid like way too much money on this, and we might see the same thing happening here for the newer Power 9 cards.
Yeah. So I think that the big picture here, and of course the thing that Wizards wouldn't say, is that they want a share of like the proxy money. Because for as much as they like still uphold the reserved list, they know that the future of Magic, or rather like these Eternal Magic formats, is just like proxies. It's all over the place, and they either get into it or they don't, and somebody else is going to make that money. It kind of reminds me like how all these rental services in Magic Online are making a lot of money that Wizards could be making if they wanted.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I feel like they've kind of found a way around the reserved list, because I mentioned that on Twitter, right? In a way, Wizards found a way to reprint reserved list cards without actually breaking the reserved list, at least the way I understood it. Yeah. Because most of the, at least vintage tournaments, they happen in an environment that's not sanctioned. And Commander tournaments are also like tournaments, quote unquote, are not sanctioned. Commander play is not sanctioned, right. Even though some people try to push like CEDH and stuff. But even then, I guess it's not sanctioned. And even the Commander Rules Committee, right? They put out a tweet today that they are not going to bust down your door and like check your cards on your like kitchen table for authenticity and stuff. So
exactly. So like, yeah, I think there's like a very small portion of Magic players left that you know, like who care about events basically.
About sanctioned events with
sanctioned
like
events, yeah.
OG, Black Lotus, and those kind of cards, yeah.
Right.
So I think that's for as shitty as that 100.
You wish 100.
Well, $1,000 price tag is the idea. I can very much understand. It's really just like, hey guys, we want to cash in on that, because that's just like what we're gonna give you.
A few digits too much, but
the thing that I find interesting is that in the past, Wizards has made it very clear, and even like the recent past, like a year ago, they have made it very clear that they cannot do that. The reserved list doesn't allow them to do what they did. Because somebody on Blocker Talk, for example, suggested that they do exactly that. Like, go border cards that are all the same but not tournament legal. And then Blocker Talk, as Mark Rosewater answered, there were a bunch of loopholes in the original version of the reserved list that we later closed. It covers all normal-sized versions of the card. Yeah, that was a fucking lie, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, aren't we like talking about normal-sized proxies right now?
Yeah, this is a normal-sized version of the card. It's not tournament league. It's literally what the dude suggested. And I mean, all the more power to them. I think it's great they do that. I just feel like, don't give a shit about the reserved list if it actually doesn't apply in the first place. that I don't know, that feels so patronizing, like, oh no, we can't do this because blah blah blah. It's like, and all of a sudden, oh, you can. Like, don't give a shit about the reserved list can change when it literally changed so many times in the past, and now we are also like, either like, yeah, I just find it shitty when Wizards in the past pushed certain arguments and told us, oh, we can't change it, and then all of a sudden, oh, we can change it. I like the outcome. I just don't like that they can't be more clear in their communication about that shit.
I mean, obviously, people who play Magic, like they want to like trust the product, right? Like they trust the product and also like trust the people who are behind the product. So I can definitely see when people get a little upset because of those announcements.
Yeah, I guess if you actually took those announcements for granted, right? Then you will really feel like Wizards cheated on you, because there was even like another question, right? That also came, I think, on Blogger Talk or somewhere, and the answer was, we are unwilling to reprint reserved list cards at normal card size, regardless of border or back. Yeah, that was a lie too. That was September 2017. Okay, that was 5 years ago. So never ever Wizards come to us and tell us that the reserved list can change. I'm not even sure if that whole like original like normal card size thing is actually in the reserved list or was, but the thing is, like, the thing changes so much, it can change in the future again. So
right.
But we're quickly approaching a future where it literally doesn't matter, because with the release of this product, and I think that's the greatest thing to come from this, is that Wizards is taking another step towards normalizing proxies. It's just like when the creator of the game actively sells proxies to their product, like, they're gonna have an even harder time just like telling us, oh no, don't play proxies. It's bad. I mean, they probably don't even care all that much about, like, I have so many thoughts about that, but I don't want to.
I think at the end of the day, like, Wizards is obviously like interested in like more people picking up the game at the first place, right? Just doesn't matter which format it is, like if it's Commander or Standard or Legacy or what have you, or Cube. Like, getting new people to the game is generally a good thing, and getting people excited is also a good thing. But you also got to be just, like, you got to be honest with the crowd you already have, right? Like that's the only thing.
Yeah.
I think
it feels very out of touch with like the reality a lot of people are living in these days, right, as well.
Which obviously, like, it also shows how many people care about Magic, right? Because like if not a lot of people care about the game, they wouldn't say this, right? So
something else that actually rubs me the wrong way a little bit, at least. It's like, this is supposed to be the 30th anniversary part of the 30th anniversary celebration, and like, come on, nobody's taking part in this celebration where we pay $1,000 to do that. Like, they did a lot of other things. They reprinted a lot of other cards that are cool, but don't sell this as like, this is you tell the normal people, oh, we're gonna have like this big celebration to celebrate our togetherness, and it's gonna be in this castle, and you will have to pay $1,000 admission. Like, you can watch from the outside, maybe.
That's like 30th. I mean, my 30th birthday was just a year ago, and I didn't pay. I didn't spend $1,000 on my 30th birthday. I just
$1,000 on 4 packs. That sounds like some really good drugs.
I didn't even get packs. I mean, I didn't really. Just $10 on my birthday. But
everybody chip in. Let's get drunk together. Sounds good.
But kind of interested where this is going. But again, if not a lot of people buy this product. Or like, let me say the other way around. If a lot of people end up buying this product, it will encourage Wizards of the Coast to print more sets like these, right? In the future, we don't know. Maybe on the 40th anniversary, there's gonna be packs that cost like $100,000, for maybe like one booster pack, and they're extra shiny and 3D and whatnot.
$1 million,
right? Like limited to like 10 packs or something, right? Like I don't want to tell you guys. Just don't buy this, but if a lot of people keep buying these kind of like super expensive products, Wizards will print more, and they might believe that, hey, this is actually what people want. So I'm
actually kind of curious.
Be careful with that. Yeah,
they have a limited run on this, so this is not going to be printed to demand. So once it's gone, it's gone. I think, like, my gut feeling is it's not gonna like be a big success. On the other hand, I don't know what the print run is. Like, if the print run is really small and they actually sell it, then it's a success, even if they didn't sell all that many altogether. But if they actually met their mark, like, economically, right, maybe it makes sense for them. I'm just curious. So yeah, I'm somewhat conflicted, I guess you can already tell, just because I like anything that like picks away at the reserved list. I just don't like Wizards going down this route of just like making the game so much more exclusive and becoming so much more out of touch with like how people live and feel and love the game. That just like adds in me to the idea of, just like, fuck you, Wizards, we're gonna proxy the shit out of your life, out of your game.
Yeah, maybe like the last, maybe like on the fly argument is maybe that like if you wanna, like, I got into Magic the Gathering when I was like 10 years old, and I got like pocket money, like about like $2 per week or something like that. I couldn't buy this. I couldn't even buy the package, just the package. That's I don't know. I think like Wizards made it a little harder for new, like, especially like kids maybe to start the game. Because
and when you say that, I guess we're not talking about like this anniversary edition, right? Because no kid is gonna buy that. But even just, I don't know how kids get into Magic these days. When I got into Magic, I just like bought tournament packs and pre-constructed decks and stuff, and I guess people still do that. But once I played my first competitive format that was extended, and I could easily buy, like, I didn't earn a lot of money, like, at all, because it was like between university and school still, where I had to do like this mandatory military replacement service that you did in Germany back then. And I think I just like randomly bought like 3 or 4 extended decks because they were like maybe €200 or something, like really easy, like a lot more approachable than like even standard decks being like €500 to €600 now. I don't know, man. It's just,
and like you are one of the lucky ones, because I had to like just grab the garbage cards, out of the trash can. Like,
I didn't even have a trash can, man. The trash can was my deck.
Dude, that's my deck box right there. Holy smokes.
Oh yeah, but so yeah, after all, I'm excited to see how this performs. I'm excited to see whether Wizards is gonna continue this and what other stuff we're gonna see. In the long run, I really, really hope that they are going to do something like, this is going to be a proxy cube and you can buy it directly from us. And I would actually buy that. I would buy that. I'm pretty sure.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Whew. So with that out of the way, Kai, did you watch the European Premodern Championship on the weekend? That's the next clear transition.
I did for a couple of minutes because I gotta say, I'm not a pre-modern player myself.
You gotta change that.
I gotta change that though, because a lot of those cards are, man, they're so beautiful. Holy smokes, they're so like, for anyone who doesn't really know pre-modern, it's like basically all those old cards without these super old cards.
But the super old cards are illegal as well, right? They just happen to be banned, like the Power 9 and stuff.
Oh, is that the rule? Okay.
Okay. maybe I can explain it. So Power 9, so pre-modern is basically anything up to, I would need to look it up again, but basically all the old stuff. I think that's still old bordered, pre-modern Magic. Let me look it up. I think I could have sworn I knew it by heart, like something like Onslaught or something. Legal sets, here we go. Great website. Yeah, so it's basically, oh, you're right, 4th edition all the way to Scourge. So all that alpha, beta, etc. stuff. So you're right, it starts at 4th edition. And it's all the way to Scourge. And then it has like a ban list of, I guess, all the anti-cards, all the broke. Oh, Forceful is banned as well. Interesting. They just unbanned Show and Tell on this weekend. So yeah, what I see on this ban list is lots of broken stuff. Brainstorm, Mind's Desire, Tolarian Academy. Dude, this is...
Yes, I think what this format is basically most of the Magic players I know personally are in the 30s, like early 40s, late 30s, something like that. That's like, those decks are the decks they played when they were like 15-year-olds, and it's kind of like just coming back. I think like this format looks really appealing for people who are kind of sick of like new fire printings and standard, can't really keep up with like too many effects on cards, too many triggered abilities and too overpowered just cards in general. And this pre-modern format looks pretty
I want to say it's the most beautiful format. It's just like looking at the decks and the cards.
It's modest. It's a really honest format, I think. Like you get what you get. Okay, that's actually pretty bad way to put it. No, it's a lot of those cards are just very iconic and also pretty simple and clean. And maybe like just being clean is also like a way of like beauty.
But you know what I like about the format? Like, I've never really been a big fan of like old school 93, 94. I've played it quite a bit even, but I've never been a big fan of that. And that is because the format never felt all that deep. Like, it really, you felt like you get to the bottom of it rather quickly. Whereas pre-modern, holy shit, like those decks are way deeper and the gameplay looks a lot more varied, like way more varied. If you check their website out, premodernmagic.com/decks, they just like really know how to sell you on those decks. Like you scroll through it, and even watching the gameplay on the stream, because I basically watched the entire weekend. I was gonna play in it, I couldn't on short notice. And
Oh shit! Okay.
yeah, just like wow, like the elf survivor deck and everything else they have. I've never felt this happy looking at decks and deck lists. I literally can't tell you. Like, look at this deck list, for example, the second place deck list. Second place finisher,
damn.
one of the most famous players of the format, if not the most famous player of the format, Pablo Flores Fernandez.
Beautiful name.
Yeah, absolutely cool. Awesome guy. Like, that guy plays so much elves in Premodern. He's literally Mr. Elf in Premodern. And look at that deck. It's all foil, or almost all signed.
Damn.
And it has like 4 Finton Elves, 4 Lano Elves, 4 Priest of the Tenya, 4 Survival of the Fittest, Masticore, Scree, Goblin Naboop, Anger,
Damn.
Biorhythm even, Tanglewire. This is...
Biorhythm is banned in Commander, so like this deck must be good. Yeah.
That's how it works, right? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But guess who the winner was? The winner was Mark-Eric Vogt, the last GP winner. We had him on the cast like a year or two ago, and he played what the coverage called Dark Parfait. So how would you explain this deck when you look at it? It's basically an Oath deck at the core.
Yeah, so I'm looking at an Absan deck. Oh no, it's like an Absan splash red. This is interesting. This is like, oh no, this is a 5-color deck. Excuse me, because
This is almost mono white though.
It's almost sure, you can say that. So it is a land tax deck with like Mox Diamonds, land tax itself, and there's also like Armageddons to like reset everything, but you're the guy with land tax, so you're gonna like get more lands. There's also a Zuran Orb to gain some more life. And then it has a bunch of like creature removal, like Swords to Plowshares. Actually, that's it. And other removal like Seal of Seal of Cleansing, I think it's called. Ray of Revelation, which is like like enchantment removal flashback, which is really, really good with the other core card of the deck, which is Oath of Druids, right? And
yeah.
Oh, not? Oh, I thought Oath of Druids is the core card.
It is, yeah.
kind of. But instead of getting like overpowered Akromas and other things on the battlefield like ASAP, it is more like of a controlling approach. I don't know exactly what that creature is. It's like a 7-mana 4/4, I think, with first strike.
Oh, you don't know? Okay, let me help you out. Okay, so like you mentioned, right? The stack has basically all of the land tax thing going, and then you get some extra cards with Sylvan Library and stuff, and you have some silver bullets and something like Engineered Plague that you can get, because you're also playing, I think, 3 copies of Enlightened Tutor.
Oh, damn.
That's why you got so many one-offs here. You got like the one of Ivory Tower, one of Cernorb, one of Thomas Crypt, and even the sideboard has tons of ones of like Karmic Justice, Circle of Protections, all that kind of stuff. So what are you really doing here? Like, you're just chilling. You're generating value with Scroll Rack and land tax, because that's the thing, right? That's how you get your card advantage. You always keep putting them back. You shuffle them back into your hand, and it's beautiful. And then you Oath of Druids, and you either get Ancestors Chosen, which old school, like 15 years ago, almost like in Dredge, people played that. It's a 7-mana 4/4 white creature. Has
Cleric.
first strike. Yeah, Cleric probably. And when it comes to play, if I remember correctly, you gain 1 life for each card in your graveyard. Oh, it's even Sherman. Yeah, you gain 1 life for each card in your graveyard. So you either hit that, or you hit what's the English name of that? Shard Phoenix?
Yeah, I think like Shrapnel Phoenix or something like that.
I think it's Shard Phoenix.
Or Shard Phoenix might be, yeah.
Shard Phoenix. Let's not. Yeah, it's Shard Phoenix. And Shard Phoenix is a 2/2 for colorless and a red. That rarely ever comes up, I guess. It has flying, and you can sacrifice it and basically Pyroclast on the board. Shard Phoenix deals 2 damage to each creature without flying. Okay, without flying. So that's one way to clear the board. So you have Oath of Druids. If your opponent has any creatures, you can just like get the Shard Phoenix out there, sacrifice it, clear the board. Very good against elves, most importantly. And then you can also get it back from the graveyard, right? Return Shard Phoenix from your graveyard to your hand for 3 red. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. And now here comes the beautiful part that I only just realized, and I hope I'm not messing this up. Let's say you cleared the board with Shard Phoenix. It's in the graveyard now. On your next upkeep, you return it to your hand. then Oath triggers again, maybe or maybe not, but if your opponent starts playing creatures again, they do. You can scroll wreck the Shard Phoenix back into your deck.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure that's like part of what you would do in this deck.
Yeah, that's very deep. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how often it comes up.
That's almost like setting up a terminus. Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's like the old like Sentai dividing top brainstorm terminus thing. You know, it's just like gotta use my shrapnel dude again. Oh, no. Okay, interesting. I like that.
This is really, really cool. And then, somehow we have a Chroma Angel of Wrath on the sideboard, so we can do that. From what I've seen on stream, like the MVP of the entire thing was Meddling Mage. Like, Meddling Mage did so much for Mark, and I'm pretty sure he even added a third copy after winning the tournament, he told us.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's the only blue card in the whole deck. But there also are 4 Undiscovered Paradise in the main, the land that also bounds itself, which is, I guess, like really, really good with land tax, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also with like all the other cards, but...
technically it also has synergy with like Scroll Rack, technically Mox Diamond even. This deck is like so cool. See, this is what I love about this kind of deck.
I'm a little surprised that Mark picked a deck like this for an event, because I thought that he is like a heavy blue player in the first place, and he would probably play something like a standstill deck, for example, like a blue-white control type of deck, But this is... I don't want to say this is, I don't want to say this is the opposite, because it's also like controlling, but it's not controlling with blue. It's controlling with white, a lot of white, actually.
Yeah, this is basically, that's what Parfait is most of the time, like a white control deck. I think the closest to a blue control deck we have in the format is actually Stasis.
Oh.
It plays like 4 Stasis, and then for control you have like 4 Days, 4 Arcane Denial, 3 copies of Thwart, 2 copies of Foil, 1 copy of Counterspell I see here, a Morphling in the sideboard. Dude, Stasis like an all-star. Like, I've actually seen Stasis a lot over the weekend when I was watching the coverage, and somebody even like, actually, who's the name? What's the name? Václav Lotka made top 11 with Stasis.
What does that even mean, like top 11? I thought there's always like top 8 and top 16.
Yeah, I was gonna say top 16, but
this guy made top 11.
And
Holy
exactly
smokes, dude!
Oh, which place is it gonna be? Like second, third? Oh, 11. But yeah, that's the deck. Mark played it really well. They even tried to get him drunk. Like, he was commentating in between matches sometimes, and yeah, the whole affair, the whole tournament was something they could never run in the US, I believe. Because everybody was like constantly drunk on stream.
Oh, really? Okay. It kind of sounds like the old school community where, people really don't care about good plays or not. The
thing is, I almost found it like somewhat distracting when the commentators were so drunk. They didn't even talk about the game at all. But I mean, that's part of the charm of it, I guess.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, the gameplay looked amazing. And the funny thing is, if you had asked me before the tournament, if I was to predict the finals, I literally would have predicted those 2 players. And this is like not a tiny tournament. This is 124 players. I literally would have predicted those 2 players to make the finals, and they did. I should be a betting man.
Yeah, become rich already. That's good.
But the best deck in the format, for all I know, is Elves. And we also have 3 copies of Elves in the top 4.
Is that the Delver in Premodern?
Pretty much. It also kills you pretty quickly. Like, when you untap with Priest of Titania, like, things go Priest of Titania plus Survival of the Fittest. Like, imagine you can even like Survival of the Fittest for, let's say, I don't know, Quirion Ranger, play Quirion Ranger, untap Priest of Titania again.
Oh my goodness.
And do all that kind of stuff. Yeah. This is beyond crazy. You get Wild Symbiotes, you untap your Priest of Titanias, you bounce and replay your Quirion Rangers to untap the Priests again. In the meanwhile, you make so much mana with your... you can even like get additional Priests if you have an Anger in the graveyard. Watching this deck and what it can do with Masticore, that's... I wanna play it so badly, man.
Yeah, like Masticore kind of looks like the creator of Behemoth in this deck, at least, like one of those like finishers. Like the deck itself is just really elegant. Also plays the full set of Tanglewires in the main. Like opponents struggling with mana while you have like just infinite mana of Gaia's Cradles and Priests of Titanias and so on.
Yeah, apparently there's a couple of different ways to build it. I've heard that people also sometimes don't play Tanglewire. They rely more on something like Winter Orb. I'm looking at the 3rd place list now of Martin Lindström, who I think is Fluffy, by the way, very famous Swedish Legacy player as well. And he's got Kamal, Fist of Crosa, which is kind of cool because Kamal can actually animate Gaia's Cradle. And then you can use
Ooh.
Violet Symbiote and Current Ranger to untap Gaia's Cradle for even more mana.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, this. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, he also has Tangle Wire. Never mind, I didn't see that. Okay, and there's one that has Winter Orb. That's the. Oh, that's Carsten Linden in I believe, Force. You know Carsten, right?
Yeah. So that was I got so pumped while watching the stream because Carsten Linden, who's I think a former Legacy, semi-professional player with Canadian Threshold back in the day, like 2000, like
Exactly.
between 2011 and 2000, I want to say like 14, 15 maybe. He played a lot of Rock Delver, and he was like among the top 3-4 Rock Delver players back in the day with Nimble Mongoose. And I saw him on stream, and I saw him playing Elf deck, while using one of my Savatarix playmats, which just dude, I was so happy to see that. Carsten's a cool guy, and I also invited him to my 31st birthday, by the way, in 2 weeks. So he
Awesome.
might actually come over. Let's see.
Are you gonna have? You should stream your birthday. Like, live the stream alive, 24/7 IRL stream from your birthday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we gotta celebrate in my streaming studio. So
are you gonna?
yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be like about like 20 people. And for everyone listening to this podcast, if you don't have any plans on October 15th, I might just ask me for my address and just let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, boys.
Have you figured out where the food is gonna come from?
Oh, the oven. Yeah.
Where does the meat come from? From the supermarket? Oh, sure.
Supermarket. Oh, yes.
So yeah, that is Premodern. Definitely check it out. We're gonna link the top 16 deck lists in the Premodern Championship. There's like some really weird stuff. There's like a deck with 4 Squeeze and what is this? Solitary Confinement, zombie infestation. Oh my god,
dude!
I played against that in Legacy so long ago.
You got me hooked. Yeah, that and Treasure Hunt, I think.
Exalted Angel.
Exalted Angel, sure. We take those.
This is, Slice and Dice, 4 copies of Degree of Justice, Astral Slide, and what is this, Lightning Rift? Like, this is very, very, very old Legacy decks showing up again. Forbidding Watchtower, apparently that's the thing as well in the format. Dude, these decks look amazing. And
I can clearly tell you're kind of hooked, yeah.
This is just like, this is basically how I got into Magic, and yeah, or other tournament Magic, and the nostalgia is eating me up alive. Like, I guess this is how I feel people who played 93, 94 back then felt it when old school became a thing. Yeah, I guess Premodern is just my old school. Dude, I love this format so much, even though I've never played it yet. Anyway, right. You gotta move me on to the next topic, otherwise I will keep going about these decks.
So we have another big event that happened on the same weekend, I want to say. Last Saturday, Sunday, in the United States of America, there was the Legacy Pit Open. I think the second one, if I'm not mistaken. Probably. And I watched a lot of their coverage on Twitch, I gotta say. Like, I just spent like so much. That's also like what I didn't stream on the weekend because I was just busy watching. And we had like Adric Doss and Corey Baumeister doing like an amazing job on the coverage. And yeah, just I don't know. There was like just crazy things going on. I think we saw a bunch of different archetypes, and a bunch of Magic Online grinders who made it to the event. And look at this top 8. It's pretty stacked actually.
I mean, look at the names, right? There's so many names I instantly recognize, like Bob Wang, Tony Scapponi. Actually, those are the ones I instantly recognize.
I mean, yeah. David Lance is also pretty. Does a lot of content on Twitter. On Twitter. On Twitter. This thing called Twitter. Samantha Murphy. Also been playing a lot of like Tempo Doomsday. I think Tempo Doomsday exclusively. It's really great to see those decks in action.
Yeah, and by now also, I guess, Hunter Nance won the entire thing with Blue Red Delver. We got 3 copies of Blue Red Delver in the top 8, 1 copy of Elves, 1 copy of Death in Texas, 1 copy of the Epic Gamble in the hand of the OG Epic Gambler, Tony Scapponi, 8 cast in the hand of Bob Wang, and yeah, Tempo Doomsday played by Samantha Murphy?
Yeah, this is like an interesting deck. It is a Grixis Tempo Doomsday deck list with Murktide Region, Bellow Strix, a one of Young Pyromancer. Samantha told me that that's absolutely her like one of pet card. Just it had to be in the deck, somewhere. And actually, she said like, yeah, it can't be pyroblasted, which is
It's
a
a big
fair
thing in the
point.
format right now.
But there's a lot of hydroblasts running around, so I don't know about that. It's gotta see. But this is an interesting deck because it casts Doomsday, and after Doomsday, you go Expressive Iteration.
Oh, that actually gets you to the very bottom of the deck almost.
Pretty much.
Like you pass the turn, then you have 4 cards in the deck, you cast Expressive Iteration, you have 1 card left in the deck, kinda.
Yeah,
Well, actually, now 1 goes to the bottom, right?
1 goes to the bottom, so you gotta put in like a couple of cantrips in there, to finally get there. But most of the time, she just chains Baleful Strix, into other ones, and that will mostly beat like Endurances and other cards.
Oh, there's no Cyclers in this deck, right?
There's not a single Cycler. There's also no plastic mana in this deck. There's no Lion-Side Diamond and no Lotus Petals whatsoever. This is like the most non-Doomsday-ish Doomsday deck, if you will, because
Even has like straight up removal spells, Fatal Push.
Yeah, dude. Fatal Push in the main board, 2 more in the sideboard. Just lots and lots of blasts. Even 2 unlicensed Hers in the sideboard against Delver.
You might actually lose the entire match to this deck without realizing it's Doomsday. It's just like, a couple of Baleful Strix, then Murktide Regent get you Young Pyromancer. Like, nobody would expect that to be Doomsday.
Oh yeah, dude, totally. I want to find out. Yeah, I want to find out how often Doomsday was actually cast during the whole.
I want to find
weekend.
out how often she went like Dark Ritual, Murktide Regent.
Dude, speaking of which, I think the one card that's really missing here is Sheoldred. Man, if Sheoldred was in this deck, this is already like, I don't know, man. I would totally jam Sheoldred in this type of deck. In addition to Murktide.
I think there was a reason she didn't play it, and she even talked about it on Twitter, but I don't remember it.
Like,
I think she actively decided against it. She was aware that that's like a thing, but I don't remember what the reaning was.
Yeah, obviously because she wanted to play Young Pyromancer instead. Like a.
Oh, is that how it works?
Like most people do. I don't know.
It's not that deep, dude. It's just like, I want to play this easy. Okay.
Yeah, but really, again, like super, super nice to see. Also, people like Tony Scaponi on the feature match. Like multiple times with this epic gamble deck. As far as I know, I think he's almost like the only person who's playing this deck right now. And I hope that after watching the stream, more people might pick it up, because it is a somewhat entertaining deck. It is super entertaining to watch. It is also probably super entertaining to play and stream. And,
but there's at least one more person. Like over the weekend, there's one guy on Magic Online, Cork, and they wrecked me like twice on the weekend with the Epic Gamble. So unless it's like Tony Scaponi's alt account that he played in between rounds, there's at least one more person.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, I didn't even know that. But yeah.
You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about quote-unquote 8cast, because Bob Wang actually talked about that deck and how he changed it, because he ran some kind of like hypergeometric calculation. That's basically like, I know the thing when you calculate how likely am I to have this card or that amount of this specific kind of card by turn X, and if you really put a lot of time into and thought into that, you can really optimize the hell out of your deck. And apparently that's what Bob did, because he gets to do that at work. I would assume.
Sure.
And Bob figured, and that's a cool thing. He figured, 8cast, kind of cool deck, but it's a little bit too clunky. Like, you don't turn on Mox Opal as often as you actually want to, and you end up with like uncastable affinity spells too often in the early game, like Thoughtcast and Thought Monitor. And that's what he reduced. He cut 1 Thoughtcast, he cut 1 Thought Monitor, and I could have sworn he also cut 1 Kappa Cannoneer down to only 2 copies. And he added a bunch more cheap artifacts to make the deck flow more easily, right? And I picked it up, I played it like through 4 leagues on the weekend. That's not the craziest sample size, but it felt good. It felt really, really good. And I'm in love with the list. I'm even considering this list for the European Legacy, what's it called? Masters in Bologna 4 Seasons.
Yeah, dude, I mean, this deck is no joke. It looks pretty much like a regular 8cast list. I think at this point, a lot of people know what an 8cast deck list looked like. But this one has 2 unlicensed Hearths in the main board already as a way to clear graveyards. Just shrinking Dragon's Rage
against Salvar, yeah.
It's super good against Salvar. It's also super good against Uro decks, of course. And I can also turn like those Psi Massithopterist tokens into those tokens can crew unlicensed Hearths pretty easily. So
yeah, I guess.
So it's like next to Kappa Cannoneer and Ursa Saga tokens, you have like Islands and Hearse is not a joke. This can like just slam for 8 points of damage or even more.
Yeah, unless your opponent has the dress down. I learned that the hard way. This literally actually dies if they have a dress down.
Oh, does it?
You animate it. It's a creature, but then it loses the ability and then just like dead.
Oh no. Oh man. And you also lose all your Saga Oh my goodness. Yeah,
that was total devastation. I was completely destroyed.
Okay,
I mean, that's why we play Magic Online for. Learn it the hard way.
Damn. There's even a Crucible of Worlds in the sideboard, which is a little. Is there like any way to tutor up this Crucible? I don't.
No, you can just draw it as you do. Like this deck draws a bunch of cards.
Oh, of course, yeah. Okay. Of course.
We don't do tutoring, Kai. This is not Premodern.
Oh, okay. Cool.
There's also a Caracas in the sideboard. Neville Shoot in the Discord actually asked, hey, how good is Sheldred actually going to be against this? And I mean, if she remains unchecked, probably pretty good.
Oh, Sheoldred is the nuts. But I gotta say, I also had a game where I had Sheoldred, but I got annihilated by construct tokens because they become so big. So
yeah.
Sheoldred is good, but it's not GG.
I guess she's good if she gets like to the board in a very early game. On the other hand, the deck still has a lot of outs against her, right? You have Caracas, you have Otavara. No, help me out.
It's Otavara.
Otavara. You gotta sound surprised. Otavara. Yeah. So it's not Otavara or whatever. No. Okay, sorry, silly. Okay. And yeah, so there's ways around her. But right now, I really, really like art. By the way, I love what Bob has done in the last couple of weeks. You know, how like a month or two, like a couple of Zoomers on Twitter implied, hey, Bob is washed and he's like sticking to the old stuff and like, is he even relevant anymore? I mean, they didn't say that. They literally didn't say that. And they also didn't mean to imply that. But if you play it up a little, they did.
Oh, really? I didn't even realize.
Yeah, and then Bob came out of like Kemi's kind of semi-retirement, and he literally destroyed so many tournaments. I think he made so many top 8s in the Legacy Challenge. I think he also did really well in the Legacy Showcase Challenge. He made top 8 of this 306 player tournament. Like Bob is like, dude, I still get some moves, man.
Yeah, I mean, my man, our man. Very good, very impressive.
Former host of Everyday Eternal. He's your predecessor in a way.
Yeah, congratulations, really. Like that's really a super strong showing, among 306 players. I gotta say, like, this is not some small Friday Night Magic. This is like the real stuff. So,
awesome. And then we got Blue Red Delver, but nobody wants to talk about Blue Red Delver. The most exciting thing I have about this list is one of the lists is 1 Wish's Bubble, the other one is 2, and the other one is 3.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, can you believe it?
Dude. Oh shit, dude. I gotta say, like, one of the lists also has a 1 of Pyro. What is wrong with people? Why are people playing like 1 of Pyro monsters in those Doomsday and Delver decks? What is going on?
True.
Yeah, what is a Pyro monster doing?
I mean, it's cute. It's the level 1 play of having something that can't be pyroblasted and that if it stays around might actually win you the game.
I mean, does it though?
I mean, if it made flying tokens that block, I guess
oh my goodness, yeah, you wanna see like the sickest tech ever. So Hunter Nance, who took down the tournament, he has an expressive iteration in the sideboard.
Oh, how deep does it go, man?
What on earth is this? What? Oh no, yeah. I mean,
gotta make room for that young pyromancer.
Holy smokes, dude! An expressive iteration in sideboard. What? Dude, I'm kind of losing my mind here. What does that even mean?
I mean, the card can be kind of clunky. It's basically a 3-mana spell most of the time, even though it only says 2 on the top, but still.
Well, I thought expressive iteration is like the reason to play Blue Red Delver. Dude, you know what? Like, watch me putting a single Dark Ritual in the sideboard next time I play Doomsday. That's crazy. Holy smokes! And obviously, congratulations for taking down the event for. That's really interesting. I guess
he must not like expressive iteration. He's also the only Delver deck not playing Mystic Sanctuary.
I guess that's a fair point. Yeah. Okay.
Because he's just like more in your face, beat down, gotcha with Young Pyromancer. Young Pyromancer's the truth.
Interesting. Okay.
And then we got Fs, and this one is I still haven't found a proper name for it. I called it like Nick for Elves. I think Fiend Artisan Nick for Elves makes more sense. This is where you keep like cutting all of the sacred cows of elves. I think Glimpse of Nature is gone by now, and I think by next week we're probably also gonna cut like Gaia's Cradle. Maybe not Gaia's Cradle, But yeah, this is a bunch of lands, and then we have the core engine still intact. We have Green Sun Zenith, we have Natural Orders, we have the Best Friends team, even though I think we cut down to 2 Elvish Visionaries. Ooh.
Crazy.
But we are playing Acceleration, Llanowar Elves, and of course the namesake card for the deck, I guess, Fiend Artisan. And yeah, Newton Hang says this is the best 2-drop in Legacy. I don't know about that. The best 2-drop in Legacy, that's like a very tall order. I think it doesn't really get past Thalia.
Oh, I didn't. I wanted to, like, it doesn't pass Young Power. No, Murktide Region? What? Okay.
Oh, yeah, I think Murktide Region is actually the best 2-drop in Legacy.
But it's an interesting looking deck. I'm a little surprised by the super high land count in this deck.
I mean, you need it. This deck is insanely mana hungry. Hungry.
Hungry. Yeah, looks like it. I mean, it's even playing like a crop rotation to get more Gaia's Cradles, I suppose.
Yeah. I always like that one of crop rotation elves, like no matter which version you play.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool.
It's interesting that you mentioned like a Nickfit elves, because like to me it looks more like a Maverick type of elf stack, you know.
That's actually what when I tried it, I saved it as Maverick elves on Magic Online.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. I can't really say if I like this deck in particular, because I'm not a huge fan of like very odd numbers. For example, like, you know, you see like 3 Allosaurus Shepherd, for example, which looks a little weird. You know, 2 Elvish Visionaries, as you already mentioned. Like a 1 of Creator Ranger, which is, I guess, fine because you are like a tutor box, a toolbox deck.
Yeah, but I don't know, when I look at it with like the eyes of an Elves player, a lot of those numbers really make sense. For example, like the 1 of Creator Ranger, it's a very common play to go turn 1 Acceleration, turn 2 you don't have a land, but you have a Senate, so you send it for a Creator Ranger, bounce the land, untap your creature, replay the land. All of a sudden you have like a ton of mana and 2 mana left, and on the following turn you're gonna have at least 4 mana. Like that makes sense. And like also a lot of the Elves, like Visionary, you really only need 1 Visionary, and I mean it's still one of the more controversial cuts, but once you have Firewall Symbiote and Visionary, you can just like keep going. The thing I've never really fully warmed up to is just like how mana hungry this is, and how this deck sometimes just like struggles when you want to punish your opponent, but you can't really, except for Natural Order when they struggle. But yeah, I think this deck will continue to do well until people play more Stifle effects and stopping library searches. Like I played against this with 8cast just yesterday, and I can't say I destroyed it. I won, but I guess I destroyed it in one of the games.
Sure. And
Pithing Needles went a long way. I played 8cast, the list that Bob provided, and the 2 Pithing Needles, they did so much damage to Fiend Artisans and Elvish Reclaimers and Wildwood Symbiotes. And this is basically what the deck is running on. And then the last card I had was Grafdigger's Cage, and at that point it's just like lights out, really. Because from there, the best you could do is like drop Allosaurus Shepherd into a Cradle and then try to get there. But the deck is actually playing so few elves, that's not even all that great. Especially against tokens.
I like that the deck is still called Elves. And I think, you know, like if you want to play this, how do you call this? Like a Golgari
mid-range elves.
Golgari mid-range elves. Or if you want to play like traditional like turbo-ish elves, you know, with Nettle Sentinels, or even like the non-Nettle Sentinel version. I think it's totally legit to have multiple versions of elves being popular in Legacy. Same thing for Doomsday. You know, you don't have to pick up Max Torsion's super fast 4-person tutor build. You can also go like Samantha Murphy style and just go like Young Pyro Monster main board. You know, it's like a lot of ways you can do stuff in Legacy, and that's what I really like. I think that's great.
Definitely, and especially since this list is also putting a lot of finishes. I think we've seen both. Well, I don't ever really like talking about it as this dichotomy of like, oh, this is the Nettle combo version and this is the Fiend Artisan mid-range version, because it very much is a spectrum, like how you build it. Sometimes I build like the combo version with Elvish Visionaries and stuff, Elvish Reclaimers and stuff. Sometimes you move more toward the mid-range. That's always been the thing for elves, right? And that's why we have seen value elves and all that kind of stuff in the past. And yeah, it's much more a spectrum than an actual dichotomy to me. And I think right now, this deck really abuses the disrespect or the misunderstanding, I want to say, people have about elves. I think people in a lot of ways still think, oh, if I play like, you know, I don't know, a lot of counter spells and creature removal, that's going to be good. And I mean, that never was good in the first place, and it's even worse against this deck because it's literally going to grind you out, and also mass removal is not going to help you. This would require a different approach to playing or building your deck. And yeah, I mean, it's still elves. I don't know how much people wanna wrap their deck building with regards to elves, even though I think by now it's usually one of the top 5 most played decks in any tournament.
That's crazy. You know what? I just found like one thing that I think is like kind of funny is so our deck has like a 1 of Shriekmaw in the sideboard, which you can bring in against I don't know, like any creature deck, but you gotta pay 6 mana with Fiend Artisan to tutor up that Shriekmaw because it costs 5 mana. Holy smokes!
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like
is that really good?
I mean, that's the thing. Like people, even when it was less mid range, people also played like sometimes 2 or 3 copies of Shriekmaw. Another upside is you can actually get it with Once Upon a Time.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's a move spell you can find with Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, that sounds like much better than tapping 6 mana and tapping your Fiend Artisan to get a Shriekmaw permanently into play.
But yeah. Once the deck gets going, you get to do some very nasty stuff. I wouldn't rule it out that you could also get Progenitus in the end, like double Cradle, easy Progenitus there.
Sure. If you like elves and if you like Birthing Pot, this might just be the deck for you. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good way to put it. Cool. One last thing I want to talk about is there was some quote unquote drama around this tournament. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Let's move on to the next topic then.
By the way, thank you so much for listening, everyone. So all I know is that the attendance was not as high as expected.
Yeah, exactly. That's a shame, right?
Right.
I think that they calculated with a maximum capacity of 600 people, and they expected 600 people to show up, which is like larger than some of the GPs we have seen in the past. And they advertised this event as a 20K, meaning that there would be $20,000 in payout. Now the thing is, only half the people they expected showed up, or at least what they kept at showed up, which in turn meant that the payout was also reduced, but not in your typical shady way. Because, there's sometimes tournaments where people are like, oh, there's going to be 20K in prizes. And then when not enough people show up, the organizer cuts prices, even though they didn't announce that they would scale with attendance. Now, the Legacy Pit kind of announced that they would scale with attendance, but it's between the lines. Because what they said is, any player not placing in the top 32 but having made day 2 of the Legacy main event will receive $115. Now the thing is, the number of people who make day 2 does scale with the number of attendance, and as such, the prize payout scales with attendance. But I understand that wasn't immediately obvious to everyone. So I think that's where the drama came from. I think somebody calculated that they ended up giving out, let's say, 12K, 13K, 14K, let's say 14K. So the total payout fell short of the 20K. But yeah, I think Ozymandias put it best on Twitter when he said, this is the list of all players who were paid less than they were promised. And then it's literally a blank table. Because in the end, everybody got exactly what they were promised for their finish. So I understand why it's weird. And I guess the Legacy Pit should have been clearer in their communication about that. But in the end, I don't think anybody really got shortchanged here.
I mean, that sounds really good to me, at least. I gotta say though, I'm among those people who really don't care. Don't care is like the wrong way to put it, but it's like, whatever, dude. Like you had a good weekend. You played a bunch of Magic. You had fun. Competing is cool. And at the end of the day, if you make a little bit maybe, or if there's like a trophy or like some proper coverage, I mean, that's what people want.
Yeah, coverage is worth a lot. Like people really value coverage.
It shouldn't really like come down to like, I got like $50 at the end, or like I got 75 instead. I mean, that doesn't matter. Like that will partially cover your dinner. Maybe, or like a part of the I don't know, like a one hotel room night or something. But people don't go there to cover the expenses, right? That's not like if you're ever planning a trip to a GP or some larger event and you hope to break even well, like, you better win this event altogether.
I mean, you're never really breaking even in like expected value, unless you're like, even if you're Paulo Vito Damadoros and you attend a GP, it's I guess if it's like a neighboring country or something,
right?
whatever.
Yeah, you better stop practicing for those like Pro Tours and Mythic Championships.
But you also get so much value out of it, right? That's not monetary. But yeah, what I want to say is, I think you don't, or you and I, right? We both don't care all that much what the payout is, as long as you don't feel like the organizer is just trying to, scam you or something. And usually there is a feeling of being scammed when an organizer reduces the prize payout in an unannounced way. But I don't really feel like this has happened here. I think the big problem is that they announced it as a 20K when they had a scaling element in the price payout. Usually when you announce, like, let's say a 20K, you have prices all the way down to 64 or top 128 place, and that's your 20K, and that's what you're going to pay out. But since they had like a scaling element, you can't really advertise it as a 20K. You could advertise it as a like max 20K or like as a 10K plus X or something. So it's more like a improper communication. But like Ozymandias said, in the end, everybody got what they were promised.
Okay, cool. You know what? Let's fix this problem. Okay, Everyday Eternal. Let's fix tournaments starting now. we gotta fix this problem in 10 seconds. Okay. So I would suggest that we call this just Big Legacy event from now on. Boom! I fixed it.
Big Legacy. The Everyday Eternal Big Legacy event. Hey, sign up now.
Sign up now.
It's gonna happen on Kai's 31st birthday.
There's gonna be in my studio. There's gonna be big prizes. That's all I can say for now.
Big prizes, big advantage.
You're just gonna, just trust me on this, and we'll be good.
I mean, I would trust you on that. I've played. I remember. Oh, that's a long time ago. Mark Vogt had tournaments that he would host at his apartment in Munich. And we would go there and we would play like 8-man tournaments. That was actually really cool. It's been a long time, and he would I think collect some money for food, and then I think he or his wife would cook. Dude, Mark, if you can hear this, we gotta do that again. Imagine if you streamed that. Holy shit, if you streamed that, people would love that.
Dude, yeah, for sure. For event coverage, it almost doesn't matter how many players are in the event. Like, if you have like a properly done, like, nice coverage, let's say like an 8-player single elimination event, or it doesn't even have to be single elimination, or like just a 8-player, everyone's kind of like super skilled, you have proper coverage. That's just prime content, seriously.
Mm-hmm. You know how in StarCraft they had Home Story Cup?
Oh, I didn't play StarCraft. Sorry.
You missed out.
I was one of those like poor kids. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. I guess we got to talk about that a different time, because it's a story on its own. But like, Home Story Cup is amazing. They started out as basically a bunch of friends who were like, some of them were pro players, some of them were like doing coverage, and they literally got together in this one guy's apartment, and they would just like stream StarCraft matches and like stream their own private StarCraft tournament to the community. And it got bigger and bigger and bigger every time. I think at one tournament they even like had a stripper hired to come to the tournament. I remember watching that, and so they had the stripper on stream, which is like, I guess you can't do that on Twitch anymore, but back then that was a thing.
Yeah.
But she didn't like dress completely naked, but almost. And the two organizers, they were sitting on the sofa, and they were watching the stripper on the stream preview and not like behind them.
No way, dude. Oh, holy
I laughed that. It was like the nerdiest thing you can imagine.
Yeah. We should definitely, dude, I'm so down. We should definitely do that.
I wonder which kind of strippers you can find in Berlin.
I mean, like, probably like the really fucked up ones.
That makes for better content then. Cool. And speaking of fucked up, there's an amazingly fucked up deck in the top 8 of the last Legacy Challenge, and this is last deck list I want to highlight today. This is coming to you from Sprouts. Is this your new deck, Kai? Is this the future you see for yourself?
So I gotta like what's going on here? So we got an is this an Esper deck? No, this is a Jeskai deck.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay, so this is like a Jeskai aggro deck with Invisible Stalker, which is pretty much just an unblockable creature, right?
Yeah, unblockable, and it has hexproof.
Oh, nice.
It's basically like a bogle.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's pretty medium, I suppose. But you know, like, now. Yeah, but you got a lot of punch to it, because you can power up this mediocre threats with, hold my beer, Blood Forged Battle Axe, which is a 1-mana artifact equipment from Double Masters. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player. Create a token that is a copy of Blood Forged Battle Axe.
So many battle axes.
Oh my goodness. And then you can equip it for another 2 mana.
What's not to love about that? Dude, I played that in Rakdos Knights. It kind of was actually really good.
Yeah.
You basically, your Invisible Stalker keeps growing every turn. You also, by the way, you have backup Invisible Stalker in the form of 3 True Name Nemesis.
True Name Nemesis, yeah.
You got all that blue stuff, like 4 Ponder, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Forceful, 4 Days, 2 Force of Negation, 4 Swords of Plowshares. Yeah.
Dude,
the deck basically builds itself from that point on.
You gotta play free counters, because you are you busy dumping all your mana into like equip costs,
and drawing extra cards. That's the thing, right?
Oh yeah. You can definitely
the 8 enchantments, right?
I think this is like an interesting approach of like making Esper Sentinel like maybe good again. You know.
Again, oh, dude, again has been called.
After like you saw a couple of like wonky Esper Sentinel deck lists like after the set release. I think shortly after the set release, you saw a couple of people.
But the thing is, I don't even wanna put these enchantments on Esper Sentinel. I wanna put these enchantments on Invisible Stalker.
Oh, sure, yeah, and run away with the game.
Yeah, because you draw extra cards. So we got, maybe it's just like mention those 2 enchantments. So we got Curious Obsession, and I just clicked, oh, here it is. Curious Obsession, some of you might remember that from Standard. The enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Actually, and something happens on the beginning of your end step. If you didn't attack with a creature this turn, sacrifice Curious Obsession, okay, that never happens. So you always put it on Invisible Stalker, True Name Nemesis, and draw a card every turn, like an extra card for just 1 blue. I think that's really good. And then we have Staggering Insight, which is kind of the same, but it costs white and a blue. Equipped creature, enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. And whenever this creature deals combat damage, you draw a card. So this really helps you win damage races, I would think.
Yeah, you gotta push. I
mean, you sound very much not convinced of this deck.
Oh well, I mean, it's like I know. And like in my head, I'm like, okay, so what do I do if I have like 3-4 Blood Forged Battle Axes on the field? Like I couldn't handle this. You know, it's just like
you only have 2 arms.
I got two arms for like 3 axes, and it's just like too much equipping going on. So I feel a little like uncomfortable. But I think this deck is really good at pushing.
Yeah, that's literally the only thing you do, right? You just like you spend your mana on equipping or casting your cantrips or removal spells. This is like pretty straightforward in the way it plays, I would think. Like you're really fucked, like you're giga fucked if you never stick in an Invisible Stalker. I guess that's also why we play like 4 Forcefulls here. And we try to like really make sure it sticks, because once it's in play, there's not too much that can actually get rid of it. I guess Supreme Verdict or something. But yeah, it's the Bogles approach from Modern.
Right. All I can say is like, you better keep pushing, because if you fall behind with this deck, you are...
I mean, Kai, what else would you be doing with this deck? It's like, put Curious Obsession on Invisible Stalker and sit back, or... That's the whole idea. You draw extra cards, so you can spend... Like, it's much easier to cast your Forcefulls and Force of Negations, because you keep drawing extra cards every single turn.
Right. Like, and as if Blood Forged Battle Axe was not enough, it also plays Umezawa Jitte in the sideboard, alongside other interesting cards such as Armageddon. It's really good to equip a Blood Forged Battle Axe to a creature if past Armageddon, but... we gotta see about that.
I mean, you don't forget, most of the time, I like how you keep focusing on the one of Bloodforged Battle Axe instead of the 8 enchantments.
It's like a freaking one-off, you know?
So yeah, I think this deck is kind of funny to play it. I don't know how good it's gonna be, but yeah, there's a lot of decks in the format that would actually roll over to this rather quickly. Cool, yeah, definitely try it out. We're gonna tune in against next time when we found out that this is actually won the Legacy Challenge. Dude, in the hands of Kai Savatari, playing 2 copies of Bloodforged Battle Axe because the one-off is too random.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, my task is real cool.
I mean, we are already at 61 cards, so yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. You know what, Julian? I think like I just looked it up. I just saw that we almost recorded for about 2 hours.
Oh,
you know,
again?
just the two of us without Callum. It's crazy. I think like before the recording session, I was like, dude, it's probably gonna be like 30 minutes, you know, and I'm gonna be like out here, but we just
There's too much stuff to talk about, man.
yeah. It was
I could have gone on about Premodern for like another hour or something, and I haven't even played it yet. Can you imagine how crazy it's gonna be if I ever start playing the format?
Yeah, we probably have to do like a weekly cast then instead. And
the
oh
Premodern Legacy podcast, Premodern podcast. Yeah, so there's some marketing value in there.
No, it was a really cool, interesting episode. I can't wait to have Callum back for the next one. But you know, I had a good time.
Great. If you had a great time, leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts or support us on patreon.com/everydayeternal and join our Discord community. If you want to find us, you can find us on @eternalmtg on both Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on @itsjulian23 on Twitter and
Sawatarix on Twitter, all social media channels, and also my homepage, sawatarix.com.
Awesome. With that, we're going to call it a day. Thanks again to all of our supporters, especially the Eternal Witness tier supporters, Tommy Hinks, Testacula, Sebastian Hollager, Guillaume, Hanawar Elf, Sean Dewey, Francis Cowper, Cassandra Davis, Benedict Gruber, and Severin Schwarzhuber, and our unmatched top-tier Grizzlebrand supporters, Victor Bernatz, Bachi Butt, Scott Monroe, Jeremy Gates, Henrik Korkutz, Tom Hepp, Andrew Whitman, and Paragon Games in St. Louis. Couldn't do it without you. Still can't afford the, what's it called, secret layer, all your money, but, you know, maybe one time
close.
in the future.
Getting close.
Dude, I can't believe how much of a train wreck this product seems to be. But
Thank
I love
you,
the
guys.
memes that come out of it. Like, the best memes are coming out of this.
Thank you, guys. We can probably, you know, just get, I was gonna say, like, again, like Raging Goblin, holy shit. But maybe like a lightning bolt, you know?
Hey, $1,000 lightning bolt. Dude, there's
Proxy.
a text list.
Lightning bolt proxy, dude.
Oh, no, you're right. Okay, guys. See you, everybody, and tune in next time. Bye-bye.
Yo, cheers.